Priscilla Block, what's happening?
How did you know it was me?
We are expecting you. We've been looking forward to this all morning.
Well, actually, there's a camera right over your right shoulder right now, and I've been watching the... I'm kidding. Stop. It's disgusting. Quit it.
He's here to creep you out. I'm just here to be your friend, so...
Well, I hope not, because I'm looking pretty bad right now, so hopefully there's no camera.
Stop it. Stop it. Priscilla, you always look amazing. All right.
Oh, thank you.
Priscilla Block joining us here. This is fantastic. I love having these types of conversations with you early on, Priscilla, because I love hearing the whole story.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
And I'm especially excited to talk to you because you are a North Carolina native, which I went to college in Charlotte. North Carolina has a very special place in my heart. So as soon as I learned that about you, I was like, all right, cool. I'm extra excited now.
You guys are already connected, right?
I love it.
So, Priscilla, let's just start at the beginning, if we can. You know, I think 70% of people never move away from their hometown, right? It blows me away.
Wow.
You graduate high school, you're like, later, Mom and Dad. Let's pick it up from right there. How'd the whole thing work out for you?
Well, it's been a ride. About 8 years, I graduated from high school, and back in North Carolina, I don't know, I just always had my mind kind of set on music, and I was writing songs and all of that when I was like 15, and picked up the guitar one day, and I was like, you know what, like, if I really want to go and do this, I'm going to go and do it. And I packed up my bags and I moved off to Nashville.
Can I ask you really quick, was there somebody in the family that was a musician that, kind of got you motivated to play? Where did the musical influence come from at a young age to start playing the guitar and learn how to write songs and all that good stuff?
You know, it actually came from my mom. She's always been really, really talented. Never really decided to take it on for a career or anything like that, but she would sing in church, and she always encouraged me to pick up a guitar. And because I was playing piano first, and I hated the piano, and because I hated practicing.
Yeah.
And she was like, you should pick up the guitar. She just always told me that, and really that's kind of what struck it up, and I found one in my attic, and that's kind of how it all started.
So you take the plunge after high school, you're packing your bags, moving to Nashville. Sounds great on paper, but I mean, let's be realistic. That's a huge undertaking for someone who's probably, I'm guessing, 18 years old. Like, had you been to Nashville before moving? Did you automatically have any sort of connections in the music industry, or just going into the city not knowing a soul? What was it like?
Tell me about how your folks, too. What were your parents' reaction to you being like, see ya, right out of high school?
Well, they were like, go get them. You know,
Good.
I'm like very outspoken, and I don't know. I mean, I was just raised in a family where whatever you like want, you just go and make happen and try and work your butt off to make it work. But yeah, my parents, like, they were excited, and they were like, all right, like, you know, they moved me out to Nashville, and it was crazy. I mean, I had visited Nashville once when I was like 15. And I didn't move to Nashville really knowing a soul. So I was just this young girl, had nobody out here, and I'm like, what do I do? Like, where do I even start? How do I do this? I was just trying everything. I'd be going hanging out in coffee shops, trying to meet people. I mean, literally everything. Because at that point, I couldn't get into bars.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're so young, right? So where do you, I mean, is it a coffee shop, open mic nights? I mean, where do you even start?
Yeah, coffee shop, open mic nights. I mean, I definitely found out my way to, like, get into bars. Because I'm like, is this where all the music is happening? Like, I have to get in there. But yeah, I mean, I just spent years just literally working every single job that I could do. I would find stuff on the side of the road, sell it. I was nannying. I worked at a yogurt shop. I mean, I've probably done like any job under the sun in Nashville. I was serving tables and just trying anything to pay my bills and meet people, and, you know, also just networking like crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Going out, listening to people sing and write songs and ask them if they would write with me. You know, it's wild.
It's so inspiring to hear how, you get there really in a sink or swim environment and you're like, no, I'm going to swim and I'm going to swim hard. All the things you mentioned, being that young in a city you don't know, trying to meet people. I got to ask, so North Carolina and Tennessee, both in the same general geographic region of the country. North Carolina is in driving distance, so it's not like moving to the West Coast or something. But did you notice any sort of a culture shock about going to Nashville from North Carolina?
Well, it's interesting. I'm really, really close to my family, so that was the hardest part. It was like, oh my gosh, my family's not out here, and still, it's an 8-hour drive back home,
right?
So it's not like one that you could hop in the car. You have to plan it out. Not really. There wasn't major culture shock in Nashville, just because I feel like they're really similar as far as like the people go. I don't know. Everyone back home was really nice. Everyone out here was really nice. I think it was culture shock in the sense of just like me truly having no clue what I was doing. And back home, it was like the comfort of I knew everybody around. I just had that, comfortability back there that I did not have in Nashville at all. And I'm like a very open, out there, social person, so that was really, really hard for me.
And again, we're talking with Priscilla Block today, and they say that if you're an artist and if you want to be a performer, you should never have a backup plan. Because the minute you start becoming weary of your situation, uncomfortable, you start thinking about that backup plan, and that's when it screws up everything, right? Can we go back to whenever you got into Nashville really quick? Was the goal just to start performing? Did you have anything in mind in regards to getting into one of these songwriting institutions, or was it just, I'm here to perform? Of course you want to grow as a songwriter, but were you trying to was your plan to kind of get in that way and then kind of once they've recognized some talent, do your own thing? Or was it just, I'm here to play music and that's it?
To be honest, I didn't do a lot of like research on how to figure Nashville out before I got here, which honestly I kind of wish I would have. But I don't know, I was just very realistic with the whole thing. Like, I knew that there was going to be years and years of grind. I knew that this isn't something that happens overnight. So, honestly, moving out here, I wasn't like, I'm going to move to Nashville, I'm going to sign a record deal, I'm going to sign a publishing deal, and I'm going to be a country music superstar. I was just...
Yeah, you buy a big mansion, you
Exactly.
Live the life. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. No, I just kind of put my head down, and I was like, I'm going to go and figure this out. And I never, like you were saying, I never had a backup plan. I was like, it's going to take some time. Let me figure this out. Let me make my crew out here. Like, let me find people that I really enjoy writing with, no matter who they are. Like, whether they're signed writers or not signed writers. And it happened to be all my friends were unsigned at the time, and we were just writing songs and in my empty apartment floor, just kind of just growing all together.
Now, during your early years in Nashville, when you're still getting settled, working all these different types of jobs, did you ever have any run-ins at that point with anyone that, was a signed country artist or maybe a power player for one of the record labels, or were things still just really flying under the radar for the first few years?
Well, yes, I actually have a pretty big moment run-in in Nashville, and I'm about a year in, and my life is just really uncertain. I just am lost. I'm this young girl that literally has no clue what she's doing, and growing up, I was just a massive Taylor Swift fan. I love Taylor Swift. I wanted to move to Nashville. I'm like, oh, if you move to Nashville, I can do it. She's this young girl doing it. I can do it. And, a year into Nashville, I was leaving work. I was working at this yogurt shop. And it was my day of, all right, should I, pack things up and go and figure out my life or what? And Taylor Swift was driving by that day, and I was wearing a Taylor Swift T-shirt. And she pulled her car over to the side of the road and literally hopped across her middle console into a passenger seat, opens up her car door and was like, hey, Like, I love your shirt. And I, not even kidding you, I went completely blank. I'm, like, staring at her like, what in the world is happening?
As we all would. That's insane.
I gotta ask, Priscilla, what kind of car was she driving?
Dude, she was driving, like, I don't even remember exactly. I want to say it was, like, a 4Runner or something. Like,
oh, wow.
Something so not, like, fancy at all.
No,
I mean, she
no
had, like,
Ferrari, Porsche, anything like that?
No. She was, like, driving a 4Runner, and, like, she had, like, 2 Mercedes cars behind her, like, following her.
So
but
that's insane. So
That's
she
cool. She just pulls over.
Yeah, your biggest, I mean, the person that you admire the most, like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what?
I know, and it was, like, crazy. I didn't even tell her that I did music. It was just so weird. It was the moment that I needed so bad to be like, I'm going to put everything that I have into this career and go and figure it out, because that stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And that was the day. I mean, I was in community college. I was working a full-time job at this yogurt shop. And literally, I decided right then and there that I was quitting school and I was quitting my job, and I was just going to go figure it out.
Again, talking with Priscilla Block here. All right, you're in Nashville. You kind of sort of have an idea of what you're doing. You have this incredible run-in with Taylor Swift, which is
of all people,
insanity. Yeah. So at what point do you start to catch some momentum? At what point are you like, okay, all right, good things are happening. You know, when do you find your stride? When do you feel like, all right, hey, this is beginning to feel good? At what point do you begin to recognize that it's beginning to kind of fall into place a little bit?
I think I started realizing it when I started writing songs that were really me. And I would go out and play them, and people would be like, the response would just be really great. And you know, when you can shut a room up, that you know you're kind of doing something good, right? Like, especially in bars in Nashville where they're loud, people are drinking, people are trying to do karaoke in the back, you know, like, when you can, like, silence a crowd and they actually, like, listen to your stuff and then you get good feedback, I'm like, okay, I think this is working. It's starting to work, you know, and as I was starting to make a little bit of money just singing myself, like, to where I could start paying some of my bills, I was like, all right, I'm on the right path. Like, soon I'll be playing music and I can pay my bills and be okay.
Now, TikTok starts to become a huge part of your story. It's so cool. You know, 2020 was a rough year for a lot of people, but for you, like, this is the year that it all happened thanks to TikTok. Like, tell us, when did you join? When did your content start to take off on there? And how did you build a following of 1 million? Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. It's crazy. You know, I had kind of heard about this app. My little sister was telling me about it. Like, you should get on TikTok, you know. And I'm like, I'm not a good dancer. Like, I'm not, but sure. Like, you know, I completely thought it was just this dancing app.
Same.
And, yeah, I think that's kind of what everybody thinks it is. It's like you get on there and you do, like, funny dances. And so, I mean, kind of got on there for, like, pure entertainment, to be honest. Like, the world shut down. The beginning of this pandemic, I'm really starting to, like, see what TikTok is. And I was, you know, obviously bored out of my mind, and I don't know, there was just one night I was like, I'm gonna sing a funny song in my kitchen and just put it up there. And it was me, like, doing, like, a rendition to a Morgan Wallen song saying, like, I want to drink until the quarantine's done. And it was to whiskey glasses. And it was just me doing, like, my own little twist on it, and that was, like, the first video that kind of blew up. And I'm seeing, like, you know, thousands of people responding to this and interacting, and I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. I mean, literally, didn't even think about it. I'm just drinking wine and singing songs about drinking until this nonsense is over. And then it was like a light bulb that just went off, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if I could use this app to, like, put out my own stuff? And, like, what if the world shut down, can't play live shows? Like, this is a way to, like, reach tons of people. And it's weird because it all kind of happened over, like, a couple weeks, and I was like, you know what? Thank you, Jesus. Like, this is it. Like, I'm going to this is going to be my full-time job. Like, I can't work right now. But, like, life is just crazy. I'm going to spend, like, full-time on this app. So I would make hundreds of videos. I mean, I have thousands of videos on TikTok, like, and I was just like, I'm going to keep feeding into it. So I would sing covers. I would sing my own original songs. And it was wild because I was realizing that it was the original music that was, like, popping off, you know, which is so different because usually on a live show, people want to hear Wagon Wheel 500 times. I mean, insane.
Yeah.
But, like, they were, like, wanting to hear my original music, which was mind-blowing. And I was like, oh, this is great. So I just started feeding into it. And, I mean, I'd wake up and there would be 10,000 new followers.
Whoa.
And the next day it would be more. And people from my hometown are calling me, like, dude, I'm seeing you everywhere, and I'm also seeing other people lip-singing your song. Like, is everything okay?
Wow. And
it really just started growing really, really fast, and it was a platform that really kind of took everything off for me.
Can you monetize on TikTok like you can on some of these other social media platforms once you hit a certain amount of followers and you're that big of an influencer?
You can. That's something that I should probably figure out at this point, but I'm sure after, like, a certain amount of time, like, you can partner with brands and stuff like that. I have yet to do any of that, but, you know, people, like, lives, people can send you gifts, which, like, transfers to money. I really, again, probably need to figure it out.
You know what's incredible, though, and again, we're talking with Priscilla Block, and the world has changed. I've been in the same room where Scooter Braun's doing a presentation, right, when telling his story about how he discovered, I think that's his name,
Justin
Bieber
yeah.
late at night on YouTube videos. Right. And so back in the day, if you were an artist or a band, you had to grind in the streets. And record labels never heard anything until they started catching it from the people outside. Like, hey,
right.
They're selling out, you know, such and such venue. We need to figure out what's going on here. So for anybody to go viral on their own playing music, that's going to get the attention of record labels all over the place because what are they trying to do? Everyone's trying to go viral. So can you tell us about when your fans began crowdfunding for you? And, like, did you even know that they were doing it? Or how did that even come through? Like, hey, we're going to raise money for the sake of getting your product out there.
It's honestly insane. Like, I hear you say that, and it still brings chills to me because I'm like, what in the, how? Like, so I wrote Just About Over You last July, with, like, a year ago, 2020 July. And anyways, I wrote it over FaceTime with two of my girlfriends, put it up on TikTok, and again, didn't really think, like, this was gonna be the song. Like, I knew it was special to me, but
can I ask you about that song? Hey, where were you? Mindset. What was going on when you wrote that song?
Well, I had just moved out of my apartment because I couldn't afford my rent.
Okay.
And I was in this little shack in Nashville that barely had air conditioning. I actually had COVID when I wrote Just About Over
No
You.
kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, I was sicker than ever that day, and my friend called me, and she was like, hey, I know you're really sick. Like, do you still want to write today? And I was like, dude, my life is, like, falling apart. Like, I need something. And we hopped on FaceTime and wrote that song.
Dude, it's always at the worst moments of life.
Isn't that incredible?
Brings it out of
Sometimes you got to go to your lowest lows to later get to the high
do.
highs.
That's a real song, though. I mean, that's a real song. When you start putting that stuff on paper, that's stuff that people can relate to. In America, I mean, if anything people can relate to is not being able to pay your bills, you know.
And getting COVID,
all of it.
Quarantine.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, it was nuts. And so I put a video of me singing this song on TikTok with my guitar, and it was just like the work tape. And it starts just blowing up. Like, I had viral moments at that point on the app, but not like this. This was different. Like, this is like whoa, we need this song today. When are you putting it out? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, hold on. I just wrote it yesterday. And it just became this kind of like storm on social media. Like, how can we help you record this? Like, we need this song. We need this song. And there was this girl out in California. Her name's Samantha. And she was just like, we are going to come together and help Priscilla record this song. And anyway, so, people kind of all over the world donated, $1, $2, $20, like whatever it was to help me record this song. So I'm like calling up people that I know. Like, I called up one of my buddies and I'm like, how fast can you start producing this song? And he's like, I can start on it today. So we're like I'm sending him work tapes because, again, I'm sick. Like, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
He's starting stuff. My guitar player's trying to like put down, guitar parts for it. It was just kind of crazy. So I knew that there was a moment to really, really run with this song. It was just something in me that I was like, we've got to go fast. And anyways, I record the song. Within three weeks later, I put the song out, and it literally skyrockets to #1 on the iTunes charts. And
unbelievable.
I'm getting texts from people being like, have you seen the iTunes charts? And I'm like, no. Like, I haven't looked at the iTunes charts in years. I don't even think people buy music anymore. And it was just like wild. And at that point, everyone started calling. It was like all of Nashville, LA, New York. Who is this girl? Like, is this real? Like, what is going on?
So,
and I was just like, hey, it's me. I've been here for a while.
Right.
But let's go. And that was just the point that my career completely changed.
Are you on the airplane the next day? How do they start packaging you as, this up-and-coming Nashville recording artist?
No, we're in the middle of a pandemic, right?
Yeah, you're right. Forgot about that.
Especially last year.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it's a very weird time. Some people were just like, we're going to figure it out. Like, we're going to find... Like, it was wild. I had awesome people around me. My sister came out from Atlanta and was just like, I'm going to help you. I'm going to be your eyes and ears. Like, whatever you need, just let me know. And so we were just kind of like, we started the conversations, and, I didn't jump on anything like really fast. I was just like, you know what? I've worked this freaking hard. I'm not going to like sign something because there's a red carpet rolled out in front of me. Like, I want to figure out like who really gets it and who's like not looking at me for one song. Like, I want to like show y'all literally what I have and what I've been working on for a long time.
It's unbelievable. And, what a story.
Yeah, it's wild. So we had, tons of offers, and it was so cool.
So 2020 ends on the best possible note for you. You are pretty much breaking records with this song that came to fruition from TikTok, of all places. Fast forward us to now, like summer, fall 2021. What's happened in the past year, and what's the rest of the year looking like?
Oh, my goodness. Like, how is it? I can't even believe it's funny because I can't believe it's been a year, but also it feels like it's been 10 years. Like, there's been so much. I am, like, the biggest thing is now showing up to shows and people knowing the songs. Like, last year I was in my bedroom playing these songs that nobody knew, and now I'm showing up to shows. The fans are insane. Absolutely insane. Like, we get there. It is nuts to me how many people homemade make shirts that say Block Party on them.
Oh.
So, like, it's just, that has been the most exciting part, is getting out on the road. I'm on the road right now with Ashley McBride, and that's been super special. We're doing a lot with John Party, and I'll be with Dirk Bentley, and that's kind of the biggest thing that's happened this year, is just getting on the road and meeting the fans, but also working on new music, kind of all the things.
So, yeah, just busy. Time to get to work at this point.
Busy. Yes, exactly. No sleeping.
Yeah.
I decided the other night, I was just, kind of having a meltdown. But I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not going to sleep for the next 3 years. And then after the 3 years are done, then I can sleep. I just need to, put my head down and I can work my butt off for 3 years, not sleep. And then, and then when I can afford to do one tour a year, then there might be some sleeping.
Well, I've asked I've asked some of these other guys that kind of make it. There's obviously there's a lot of pressure, but it's great to finally get recognized. But now you got to write hit songs. So what's that? There's got to be some pressure in that. I mean, it's like, if only I can catch COVID every year and get evicted. That's what I need. That's a recipe for a hit song. I mean, that's
Literally.
tough, huh? The pressure to write hit songs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's weird because I felt like for a long time of being in Nashville and no one noticing me, there were so many times that I felt like it was my time. And I don't know, timing's everything. And when I signed, I was able to play them songs that I've been writing for, that I wrote years ago. And they're like, holy crap, they're we have hits. And
Nice.
I really do believe that I have those ready. So right now I'm starting to write for album 2 and just trying to stay an album ahead. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely pressure on, but I don't know. I believe in myself as a songwriter, and I believe in my co-writers, and I feel like we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, no, I think you're going to be just fine. I really
yeah.
do. So, Priscilla Block, go for it.
Priscilla, I have one more very important question to ask you. We're going to take things back to North Carolina. Could you please
Yes, ma'am.
rank in order for me these 3 North Carolina chains, your favorites in order: Cookout, Bojangles, or Krispy Kreme?
Oh my gosh, that's not fair. All right, Bojangles, Cookout, and Krispy Kreme.
That is my exact ranking.
Oh, time out. Let me understand this. Krispy Kreme is a North Carolina-based chain?
They are Winston-Salem.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. They're all over the place.
Cookout is Greensboro, and I think Bojangles is Charlotte-based.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Yeah. Fried chicken, donuts. Sounds pretty good to me. So, excellent.
I mean, honestly, all of it. We'll take it all this morning.
That's
Thank
going to be
you.
my go-to question from now on whenever we talk to artists from North Carolina. So thank you for being my guinea pig to test that out.
Yes. Thank y'all for doing this morning.
No, thanks for agreeing to talk with
You
us.
are awesome. I love following you on
Aw.
Instagram and TikTok, and hopefully you'll make it to Hampton Roads at some point. We'd love to meet you.
Yes, so soon. Well, y'all have a great day, and thank y'all again.
Priscilla, let me ask you this really quick. What was your biggest musical influence growing up? Band, group, singer, whatever it is. Who was it?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay. There you go. Priscilla Block, everybody, straight from Raleigh, North Carolina, recording artist. Be on the lookout. TikTok, the best way for people to stay in touch with everything you got going on?
Yes, yeah, TikTok, Instagram. I kind of do it all.
Excellent.
Perfect. Thank you, Priscilla.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Have fun with Ashley. Appreciate you. Take care.
All right. See ya.